We're going to be talking about a topic that is really, really common, something that all of us will have struggled with. I know you guys will have struggled with this yourself at some point in your training career, at some point of your life already, and you will be facing this again in the near future, I have no doubt. And it's this ability to stay on track, and how hard it is to have this blinkered approach. When you can really just ignore everything around you and just keep putting the right type of work in to get to where you want to get to. It's such a hard thing to do. It's something that you need to be working on pretty much daily, multiple times a day, to stay on track. Whatever your goals are in terms of your training, for your lifestyle, to have this ability to keep doing what you need to be doing to get to where you want to be is very, very difficult in this day and age. And I want to talk about it because it's one of the most common struggles that I face as a coach with everyone that I work with. And there's multiple different variations of this within the SFE community right now, with the men and women that I'm working with right now. I often say this: we work with a wonderful and amazing array of individuals on a month-to-month, year-to-year basis, all with from different age groups, from 20 all the way through to 70, from all different walks of life, different sports, different backgrounds, different types of injury. But when it comes to our mindset and how we manage our mindset and stay on track, we can all struggle with similar things but for different reasons. And I'm going to talk about them today. Whether you're coming back from an injury, guys, one of the most common ones, coming back from an injury of any variation. Whether you are going through a pregnancy right now, so you are currently pregnant and working, kind of training and kind of potentially, regressing your programming as you become more pregnant, or you're postnatal and you're coming out of it and you're months out of having a little one, just like Polly, my other half, is right now. Or you're someone who's just looking to get back into training after a period of time away, or you're trying to get back to where you were, But any of these types of narratives, having the ability to stay on track so you can get back to where you want to get, back to where you were, takes effort. It takes work. It takes day-to-day, week-to-week accountability within yourself. You may not be someone who's working with a coach right now, so maybe it's just you in your own head that's keeping you on track. And well done to you if you're doing well with that. But a lot of people struggle with this, and myself included. Your ability to ignore everything around you and keep working on what you need to be working on. And so with this in mind, I think the first one is, it's understanding what you need to be doing. I think that's really, really important. Like, what do you need to be doing? What are the facts that you need to be working on, that you need to be addressing? So when it comes to an injury, when it comes to a pregnancy, when it comes to getting back into training, there is an individualized approach that's going to be required. Okay, you are you. Okay, you are someone who has gone through your own life. You've experienced everything you've experienced. You've had the injuries, you've had the occupations, you've had you've traveled, you've kind of had everything. You've put your body through a fair amount already, and so the way we approach your journey back to health or back to performance, or optimal performance, is going to be individualized. So what we are working with in your situation, we need to know the facts. So working with a health professional, a coach, a trainer, someone who is going to sit down with you and obviously make sure that you're being looked after and that your needs are being met. There's complications when it comes to injuries. There's complications when it comes to going through a pregnancy. There's complications to getting back to optimal health. If you've been sat on your backside for the last 10 years in a career and you're looking to get back to running at the speeds and the distances that you used to do, or you're someone that's never run these types of these distances and you are doing this for the first time, there's a complexity to that. So what do you need to be doing to achieve your individual goal? So what are the facts? Some of you, there's a timeline. There is an obvious timeline. There is healing that needs to happen. There's physiological adaptations that need to happen in your tissues, muscles, in your tendons, in your ligaments, in your bones. You need to be making, so that we need, there's a timeline to each of those scenarios. If you've just gone through pregnancy, every pregnancy is different. So in the lead up, and afterwards, there's going to be a different, your body's going to have experienced it differently. You're going to have to make sure that your body is optimally recovered, just like you would be with an injury. Right? You've got to make sure that your body is ready to work. So it's making sure you know what the facts are. So being in front of a pelvic health physio, making sure you're speaking with the right consultants. You've got a good physio in front of you that understands the demands of the sport that you're getting back into, or the demands of the activities that you want to get back into. You're working with an S&C coach that really understands where you want to be headed. You're fueling appropriately, you're recovering appropriately, you're getting your body back to where it needs to get to. So you have those facts, guys. And I'm not going to go too far down that rabbit hole, but you have the facts. You've been told them, you've written them down. You may even have a program in front of you, which is what I hope you have. Our guys all do. They know the facts, and those facts get reiterated time and time again. But you need to know the facts. What do you need to be working on? Because once you have that is your roadmap, and hopefully those facts are then being delivered to you in a kind of a journey format. So you're on a program as such to get back to where you want to get to. So, we work very hard at SFE to kind of really lay out a roadmap for our guys and girls who, whatever their goals are, trying to give them a logical timeline. You can never be completely accurate with weeks and days and months, because obviously everyone's, we recover differently, or we get back to our performance at different rates. But is there a roadmap? Taking those facts into consideration about your personal situation, has there been a roadmap created? And I'm asking you right now, guys, do you have a program or a roadmap in front of you right now with your details and individualized approach written out? I'd probably question whether some of you have that, and that's probably why you are struggling, and why you have this erratic kind of relationship right now with recovery or getting back into performance, because you don't have the facts, you don't have a roadmap. So that's definitely one of the things that's really going to help you maintain and stay on track, is by actually having a plan, a program, and actually having your own facts in front of you. But once you have this, guys, it's going to give you this anchor point that you can keep coming back to. And this is going to be so important when we talk about the next thing, which is comparison. Okay. Comparison is the thief of joy, the thing that will take from you every single day, multiple times a day. We compare ourselves with anyone and everyone in this day and age, in every facet of our life, not just in our health, the way we look, our financial situations, the houses we live in, the shoes that we wear, the clothes that we wear. We compare ourselves on a daily basis, multiple times a day. I don't even know what the statistics are on that, probably in the hundreds a day, I imagine we compare ourselves, those comparative thoughts. But you guys, you've got to be kind to yourself in these situations. Okay. Again, going back to the facts, going back to what you know about, the life that you've lived up until this point, the facts of your scenario, your situation. You cannot be comparing yourself with other people around you who have. Don't tell me that they've had their knee injury is the same as your knee injury, or their pregnancy was somewhat similar to your pregnancy. It does not matter, because your bodies are very different. The way we recover is very different. The way we go through experience things is very different. The way it's all going to be based upon our physiology, our genetics, our life experience. So comparison is unbelievably cruel, and you've got to keep reminding yourself. And we live in a world where comparison is very, very, very easy. Social media, internet, we can have an abundance of images and videos in front of us, and case studies in front of us that are just telling us everything that where we should be at and why aren't we at. And we're probably comparing ourselves with the wrong people. Our peers and our role models, neither are good for us at different points in our life. And that's why we need to have this level of professionalism in our life at times, because they're going to keep us on the straight and narrow. As soon as we start to lean towards getting advice from our peers, getting advice from our role models, or not even get advice from our role models, or just kind of taking what they're doing and trying to apply it, it's a slippery slope, and because there's no construct to that. Take for instance your peers, your family, your friends around you. They've gone through similar things. They've got that. You've got friends telling you about their pregnancy. You've got friends telling you about their injuries that they got over. They don't know the facts. What are their credentials that they're related to you is pretty much it. Or you kind of grew up together. That's about it. They've got no proven track record. And what this is what you've got to be looking for, guys, in this situation. When we're trying to compare ourselves, we want to be comparing ourselves in environments that are proven, and that are environments that you can go, right, am I in a community of people that if I am going to start comparing myself, I'm going to compare myself with people that are on a similar track to me, who are kind of on a similar program to me. And it's weird because at Strength Endurance, we have a really thriving community of guys and girls, all walks of life, as I've explained. But all of them are very different. We do have a lot of similar injuries, but again, I'm going to tell you they're all different. But you can get a lot of empowerment from knowing that somebody else is on a similar journey to you. You're going to get a lot of empowerment from working with, with health professionals, or getting in front of the right people who have walked the walk. Like they are literally getting the results that you're looking for. And this is my advice to you guys: is you've got to, don't just take advice on face value. You just words. You've got to be amongst people that are be amongst groups, or get in front of health professionals that have got testimonials coming out their ears of the results that you're looking for. Getting over knee pain, getting over back pain, getting over Achilles pain, getting over long-term issues, health issues, getting your cycle back, getting postnatal, kind of getting back to running relatively quickly and healthily and consistently. Like get yourself in front of those individuals who are showing you that it's possible, but it's doing it with logical timeframes. This is the environment you want to be putting yourself in front of, guys, because this will allow you to then be able to filter that other noise from your peers, from your role models, from social media. Because right now what we're talking about, guys, is now you've got the facts, you've got a roadmap, you've got yourself you're surrounding yourself, and you're putting yourself in front of the right people who have got the right credentials, who've got the proven track record. Who have worked on similar problems and have solved those problems and have got people back to performing at their best. This is what you're looking for. Okay, so these are the things you've got to keep coming back to. Okay, these are the anchor points that you guys, and this is what I'm speaking to a lot. I imagine a lot of our Strength for Endurance community are listening to this right now, and I'm talking to you guys. Like, you're in a safe place. That's why you're on program with us. But it's important to have these anchors, because you need to remind yourself every day. Because I get lured into like thinking I could probably be doing more, I could probably lift a bit more, I could run a bit further, or I could, rush things back. And you just got to keep having these daily reminders and these daily kind of this daily level of accountability. The next thing I want to talk about, guys, is that timeline. Okay, there's a timeline to everything that we're doing. Okay, and there's this thing that none of us are very good at, and that's being patient. Okay, consistency is an absolute beast of a thing to manage and to find. But once you have it, once you have consistency and you're in a good flow with your rehab programming and your strength training, patience. Okay, patience is based upon knowledge, okay, and education, understanding that there are certain physiological processes going on in your body that require time to heal. Trying to get back postnatal, after a pregnancy, within a week, 4 weeks of giving birth, I don't care if other people are doing it. Does it actually make sense to be trying to do that? Same thing with an injury. It's like, that you've got an Achilles issue, you've got a tendinopathy issue where your body is inflamed, it's angry, it's aggravated. Is it a good idea to try and run a 10K, a half marathon on that, even though the symptoms have dissipated for a couple of days? It's the same principle, guys. Like, in your heart of heart, the logic would say no, because your physiology has literally just gone through a hell of a lot of damage. Like, it's inflamed, it's been aggravated for a length of time. You've got to be giving it some time frame to acclimatize. So post pregnancy, guys, you've got to be giving yourself months to allow your body to restore back to homeostasis. And if you're true to yourself, the scarring and the phenomenal process that your body goes through as a woman when you go through pregnancy, like, it just takes time. It takes time for your body just to kind of adapt back, and then within that time frame, you're working on those fundamentals. Those kind of deep abdominal work, that deep low pelvic floor work. You want to be taking your time with this, because that body is with you for the rest of your life, and you want to rush this. You've got decades ahead of you to run again. But people have this incessant need to feel like they need to match what other people around them are doing, and there are some good role models for it, and there's some awful role models for it. And sometimes these role models, and they're professional athletes, a lot of them, I'm not going to name any names, but they have different types of pressures, they have sponsorship pressures, they have to get back to their careers because they've only got a finite amount of time. So they're not the best people to be matching yourself up with, because they have very different pressures in their life, and they're coming at it from a different place. Potentially there's an argument that they're better conditions. I don't care, guys. There's a healing process that you have to respect. Same thing with an injury, guys. If you're comparing yourself with professional athletes that are getting back within 6 months, they can afford to get it wrong in a weird way. They can afford to probably pay for the best services, the best treatments, have all the best consultants around them, the best physios, the best S&C coaches, the best dietitians, to get them to make everything optimal. We don't have that luxury, so we've got to play a bit of a longer game. Allow the body to heal. Okay, the body will do all the work you need it to do. You just need to put the work back into it to make sure the body is conditioned enough and strong enough. So patience, guys. Understand the physiology of your situation. Okay, to have this blinkered approach and to stay on track. Like, even if you're looking to get better and you want to be the best, the fastest, the longest enduring version of yourself, is a physiological adaptations need to occur. You need to be building up that aerobic base. You want to be working on that and developing that deeper level of resilience and tolerance within your muscle tissue and in your ligaments and your tendons. It takes time. There's a physiology to it. So patience and consistency are absolute monsters when it comes to it. But the more you understand about this physiology, and this is why we do run our masterclass and things within on a weekly basis at SFE, is because the more you can understand the physiology of injury, of going, what our bodies are going through, how our bodies heal, the more you can then apply that logic, that understanding to your own journey, and you can go, actually, I know I'm not ready right now. I'm going to be ready in a few weeks, because that makes more sense, because I'm going to keep working it. I'm going to keep training it, but my body is going to be ready in said amount of time. So having these principles in front of you guys and having these things as anchor points to keep coming back to, it's absolutely critical, guys. It really, really is. It really, really is, guys, because we're all in danger of being distracted on a daily basis. We're all in danger of being kind of coerced by our friends, by our family, by our people that we follow online, by races and events that are coming up in the calendar. We want to get back quickly. We want to rush these things. But guys, like, you've got to play the long game. Okay. And even if you're a professional athlete listening to this right now, think beyond your career. You got to think about, like, okay, if you rush back and you want to get back within a month's time, is it worth it? Is it worth that rebound effect of picking up that injury again? How often do we hear about people picking up a second injury, a very similar injury, or the same injury again because they rush back? Like, it's having this knowledge and experience and getting in front of the people that have gone through it. Guys, I'm going to be completely transparent with you. I have done I damaged my left knee twice. I had the same injury, an avulsion fracture of the tibial spine, pulled the ACL ligament off the bone, pretty much fractured the bone. They got me. They didn't do anything. They just immobilized my leg, and I fully rehabbed it once the cast came off. Potentially rushed it back. I was back skating within 9 months. I was back kind of training at the level I wanted to be training at within 12 to 15 months, and I was back competing at the same international level within 18 months to 2 years. Guess what? 2 years later, bang, it went again. And I can't tell you, guys, go through that same injury again, you evaluate your life, you evaluate everything. And I was only early 20s, so I was a young man, and the thoughts that were rushing through my head then were, is this it? Is this the narrative of my life? Is this, is this going to be career ending? Is this, is this my hockey career over? Is this, am I going to be crippled for life? Blah, 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 blah. But I'm telling you guys, because, going through that rehab again, this time I had sutures. I had stitches. I had arthroscopy. They went in there. They did a better job this time. Potentially, there's an argument to say they should have done that in the first place. But my rehab, going through that twice, guys, it hardened me. It made me understand how important it is to get the facts, to be patient, to be consistent, to do all these things that I'm explaining to you guys, because Like, I don't want you to go through this rebound effects. I don't want you to be caught up in this vicious cycle. And it's obviously why, this is why strength for endurance became what it is, because of the deep pain that I went through. Me and Polly right now, like Polly, again, transparency, Paul is 12 weeks post having little Archie, our second little boy, and Polly is chomping at the bit to get back into racing and to get back into running. It's what she's been doing for the last 20 years of her life. But because of what we do, because of our understanding, our education, because of the suffering we've had in the past, that we understand that there's a patience to this. We need to know the facts, and once we know the facts, we're working with the right professionals. And Polly's working with a pelvic health physio right now, who's doing a fantastic job of kind of just formulating a plan and a timeline for her, building up the confidence, developing her S&C work alongside this, building up her tolerance. Doing all the right things. But again, we're just talking from experience here, guys. Just this isn't just coming out of thin air. This is all coming from just years of going through it ourselves, working with people on a day-to-day basis. And these key things are just going to help you stay on track and just get to where you want to get to quicker, with less pain, with less struggle, which is what all of us want. Yep. So, guys, to summarize, all right, it's very hard to stay on track when it comes to kind of achieving your training goals, your rehab goals, to have this blinkered approach and not get distracted. But there's a couple of key things that I really want you to take away with you guys. And the first one is, know the facts of your situations. The more you can lean into those and know what you should be working on individually. And you're only going to have that by talking to a professional, by having a quality conversation on a daily, weekly basis. If I'm honest, that is going to help you stay on track, because it's going to, you're going to compare, but you're not going to allow those comparisons to sink in, because you're going to know that those people are very different to you. Understand it's a holistic, individualized approach that's going to get you there quicker. There's multiple variables involved, and so if you want success, you've got to take into consideration all those variables. You can never really rush these situations. Patience and consistency will always win the day, but you've got to be working on what you need to be working, obviously. And then obviously listening to your own physiology, knowing the facts is going to help. Like, knowing those facts, knowing how the body works, and knowing where your body's at currently. And you can measure that by obviously having quality conversations with professionals, but also physically testing your body. Is it sound? Are you feeling confident and to move, to jump, to land, to sprint, to load all those key muscle groups and key joints? Yes. Great. We're heading in the right direction. But if not, then you've still got work to do, and be okay with that, and take your time, play the long game, be healthy, be happy, and don't fall into this rebound effect of kind of falling back into this vicious cycle, which a majority of people are in, and they are kidding themselves a lot of the time, and they are struggling in the darkness, in the quiet, and it's because they don't have that direction. But guys, honestly, if any of you are having any of these kind of struggles with any of this, just reach out, let's have a conversation. Very, very happy to have a conversation around what those kind of basic facts are for you to consider, to get you on track, to keep you on track, and you can see the results for yourself. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that one. I'll speak to you soon.